Hello and welcome to episode 36 of Gunpla Club, and today's a bit of a different one. So we switched out our usual rotation and introduced someone new or familiar, depending on if you're in our Discord. So at the top of my list today is Chopamon, aka Ollie. How you doing, man?
Hey, good to be back. Thank you for having me back. I'm doing alright. How's everyone else?
I'm okay, thank you.
Good.
And next on our list is Sam Smith, joining us free from the shackles of Bandai Namco. No longer working for the man.
Yeah, Konnichiwa Gaijin Chans. Yeah, I work somewhere else now, so I can slag off all this shit as much as I like. Yeah, that's it.
You love to see it.
Lawsuit incoming.
Next on my list is William Potter, live from South London.
Hello everyone, I'm happy to report that I've been really excited about Gundam lately.
Very good, I agree.
That's nice.
And today we have a special guest. Some of you on the Discord may know him as the English Otaku, but he's also called John, apparently. That is not his real name.
I am also called John. It's very conventional, but hello.
Welcome. We've answered your calls.
Thank you.
A man who has put more effort into our Discord than all of us combined.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so
It's
much.
a place where I can be weird on the internet and also feel like I'm slightly in charge.
Yeah, no.
So we'll make you admin, and then you'll just ban all of us from the server.
That's the long game plan.
I feel like I deserve it, so that's fine.
Yeah, so
Yeah, we'll make a new place to record the podcast. Like, leave that to free float into the universe. Anyway, what we've been up to, lads? There's a lot of Gundam to talk about that we kind of missed at the end of the last podcast. Like all the seed stuff. Hathaway came out. Like, it's real fun. So
Actual Gundam news.
yeah, I built a fucking kit. So Callum is out, by the way. I think we should give him a special shout out before diving in to the rest of the podcast. Because he has just introduced into the world a new grade of model kit. It's something called Baby Grade. I don't know if you guys have heard of it.
Baby grade. It takes about 18 years to build, is the thing. So, he's going to be busy for a while.
9 months in the manufacturing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John, I think you're familiar with Baby Grade, right?
I am familiar with Baby Grade. Yes, I've made 2 Baby Grades so far, and they're both still
Holy
alive.
shit.
Damn.
And as far as I'm aware, I haven't traumatized either of them yet.
Congratulations.
I've traumatized a lot of my kits. Yeah.
Right, so into what we've been building. Will Potter, let's start with you.
I laugh because I've built nothing. But I did buy something.
Ooh.
I watched Charles Counterattack in the lead up to the release of Hathaway, and I was like, you know what? I've always wanted a new Gundam. And I popped into our WhatsApp group, and I popped onto Twitter, and I was like, well, which one do I get? Because there's the Verkar, which looks amazing, but there's the more recent Real Grade, which also looks amazing.
Yeah, well, the new Verkar's almost 10 years old now at this point, isn't it? Like, it got released in like 2012, right?
Still sick,
Practically
Still sick.
It's...
ancient.
I don't know about you, but over the years, mine's gotten hella floppy. So I voted RG.
Mine's not out at the moment.
Oh my fucking god.
今はいいのさ全てを忘れて一人残った傷ついた俺がこの戦場で後に戻れば地獄に落ちるビーム輝くフラッシュバックに奴の影シャーシャーシャー流した血しぶき後で後で吹け 未来定める俺がターゲットシャーシャーシャーシャーシャーシャー
Anyway, what were we talking about before some fucking Scotsman barged in and decided this was all about him?
New Gundam.
Yes, Will. You were arguing between the master grade and the real grade.
Yes, and thanks to the help of you lovely lads and our Twitter community and my brain cells, I picked the real grade.
Hey.
Well, I mean, don't. I mean, I said the master grade because size is everything. So don't lump me in with that. But I
That's
suppose
not what my girlfriend says. Yeah, you know what? I think I prefer master grades too. However, just because the RG is so much newer, and that to me is like, well, it's definitely going to have better tech. And I watched a review on YouTube. I forget the name, but it's one of the big Gunpla YouTubers.
Is it that?
And no,
I wonder why.
cut that out. Cut that out.
No,
Cut.
staying
Cut
in.
this out.
We're going to war. I don't give a shit. I don't care.
Cut this
I'm coming
out.
for every single other Gundam influencer. Right? Don't care. You're all shy.
We'll do that, but oh my god.
Fuck off. The only one who can live is Jabman.
Jabman025, shout out
Yes.
to the OG motherfuckers in this
Big
house.
ups to Jabman. Alright, I'll cut that out, don't worry.
No,
Okay,
Sam,
if we
you
can
should
allow-
censor all the names that we mention. Except for Jabman025.
Oh god. I found it now. I was watching a YouTube video by Mecha Gaikotsu, and their new Gundam review has 692,000 views. We have missed a trick with this podcast, guys. However, it's not about the numbers. And they did point out that it's a lot sturdier.
It is.
They had issues with the Vercar where the funnels would kind of be a bit flimsy and things
Yeah,
like.
the funnels on the new Vercar fucking suck. Like,
Oh, really?
the connection on them is just barely exists.
Is it you,
Like,
Sam,
I
who
think-
just taped them on?
Yeah, I just taped them all on.
Glued them on, didn't you?
And then what I did, I didn't even do it gracefully. I just got a tube of super glue and just went all over the back. Because when am I going to look?
How did you go? Sorry?
That was a great sound effect.
How did you go?
Like that. There you go. All you ASMR fetishists have your day. Anyway, the RG, I cannot stress this enough, is a improvement in every single way over the MG. Having built basically two new Vercars, new and the high new, and the RG. The RG is the way to go.
I'm glad that's where my money went. I've ordered it from Plaza Japan, who I've not ordered before, but I found out they follow us on Twitter. So
Shout outs to Plaza Japan.
yeah, let's get some discount codes.
Yeah,
Just-
let's sort out some total shit, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll shout you out every episode. You just keep them coming, all right? I really fancy that new perfect grade.
Yeah, the PG Unleashed.
Yeah.
Simon, what have you been building?
I have done the opposite of almost all advice and started building a 15-year-old kit.
Wow.
I'm building the Master Grade Gundam Mark II 2.0. So this kit was released
Great
in
kit.
2005, so I think it was to coincide with the Zeta movie compilations that were not great.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a really good kit.
It's great.
I do have a few complaints about it. Like, everything goes together really well, and as a master grade, as you expect. Like, the articulation isn't fantastic. Neither is the colour separation on this. Like, there are some green bits and some colour apps that you have to do on stuff like the shield. And, like, the construction, it does feel dated, I won't lie. But one thing I didn't expect out of the Mark II is that ordinarily I go for kits with, like, a lot of surface detail, and, like, that era of 2.0 kit doesn't really have that. But it's so anime accurate that I love it. Like, it looks amazing, I think. It looks incredible. Like, it's so Gundam. Like, I don't know if it's I like the Mark II a lot, or if it is that I like the aesthetics of a kit that is big and chunky and doesn't have a lot of panel lines. So
It's great, yeah.
Either way.
I must have built this. I must have built this about 2009-ish, I think. So a long time ago. But yeah, it's great. Really nice kit. And yeah, it helps. The design of the Mark II is fucking awesome. But,
yeah, there's a lot of engineering in here that you don't really see in modern Master Grades either, like the sliding armor, like everywhere.
I like the little pipes behind the knees.
Yeah, the ones that are covered in cloth.
Pipes.
You know, that's one of the things that I don't really like. Like, they're really finicky to get in
like
and
that.
get them to stay there. But yeah, they are nice. They do look good.
And the one you got, does it still come with the little kind of special base?
Yeah, it comes with a little hanger base and a little man.
Yes.
To put on a wire.
That's the AU one, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah,
the
so
AU
that
version.
kit was released around the same time as the Zeta 2.0.
Which I also have.
Oh, really? Have you built that?
I haven't built it. I've got the
Right.
I've got the Zeta though, yeah.
Yeah, so that comes with another hanger base, and you can connect the two together.
You know what doesn't come with one of those?
Well,
The kit I bought like 2 weeks ago, the Yakushiki 2.0. So
no, it doesn't, because that came out about 15 years later.
yes, it did.
Yeah.
No, I got a good deal on the Shiki 2.0 on Amazon Prime Day. I'm filling Bezos's wallet. It said it was damaged and used, but I took a punt on it anyway because they had like a deal on it. It was under 50 quid, so I thought, you know what, fuck it. I've got the Zeta and the Mark II. I might as well get the whole set. And yeah, so that is kind of what spurred me to make the Mark II. I was like, I better start fucking making some of these Master Grades, otherwise they're just going to stay unbuilt.
And it arrived, and it was like the box was a bit fucked, but otherwise it was totally fine, right?
Yeah, everything was wrapped up.
okay.
I checked all the rudders. It's completely
Yeah,
like
sick.
bagged and sealed, and it hadn't been touched. So
So you're gonna have the Zeta team.
the Zeta triple, yeah.
Yeah, sick.
It's good to hear about the inner frame and things with the Mark II, because it's the basis, I think, of the Master Grade Hazels, which I have 3 of in the cupboard unbuilt at the moment.
Yeah.
So it's good to know that they'll be pretty solid and secure at least.
Yeah, the only thing I will say is that the polycaps don't feel great. You know,
It's the old material polycaps, isn't it?
yeah, it's the old material polycaps, which means that they are kind of they tend to get loose. Like I can already tell that the left leg is getting super loose, which is a shame. But what can you do? You know.
The thing is, though, is looking at that kit, I don't see really how you can make a 3.0. You know,
I guess it would be more
really
surface detail
improve?
and a different kind of design, but
Yeah,
it's
but
kind of like the
that's-
Zaki
It's not
2.0.
improvement, is it? Yeah, it's just it's just different.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Zaki 2.0. You can't really improve on it in many meaningful ways. Maybe a bit of color separation, but like all the proportions, I think are absolutely fantastic. Like, I think there's a tendency in the design of like modern Gundams to go for that Verkar look immediately, which is like slender, long legs and shit like that. But this is just like, you know what? Fuck it. I've got short, stubby legs. I'm wider than I am long. Fuck it. I'm a Gundam. Like, much like me.
Do you like it so much because you feel like you can relate to it? You know,
Yeah. Yeah, I am also wider than I am long.
Girthy.
But yeah, that was the Mark II 2.0. Like, I guess after this I'll do the Zeta, then I'll do the Shiki, because I want to use the
do
Shiki
that.
as a reward for having built the
Yes.
older kits.
Yes, definitely do that. Definitely do it in that order, because otherwise you'll going backwards from the new Shiki to the I say old Zeta. You know, it's the most recent version, but it's still 15 years old. Will be a bit of a shock.
Yeah, I guess I was kind of afraid, like, I want to make them soon because inevitably there'll be like a Master Grade Extreme Zeta Gundam or something like that, and I will definitely get that. So
Please do be prepared, though. The Zeta 2.0, I like it a lot. It looks good, but as with all transformable kits, that shit is flimsy as fuck. So just be prepared for that.
yeah.
You shake it and it sounds like a rattle. You know, like.
But apparently it's better than the real grade, so
I haven't built the real grade, but yeah. I mean, it's fine. It's fine. You just gotta be prepared for that whenever you're building a transformable kit, I think.
Yeah, you absolutely have to be prepared for that. With a transformable kit. I mean, even I think it was the Delta Plus was the only other transformable master grade I had. No, I'm telling a lie. I built the fucking Double Zeta not too long ago. That's transformable, kinda. But you're more just breaking that into bits, aren't you?
Yeah.
I think that one's meant to be the best of the bunch, though, isn't it? The Double Zeta.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's cracking.
Yeah, the Double Zeta is one of the best Gundam models I've ever made.
Yeah.
So I was just looking at it and appreciating it, and then I realised I can have from the Gundam up to the new in master grade.
Mm-hmm.
So
that was actually the first thing I ever did when I started building kits, because my first kit was a master grade RX-78-2. And then from there, I did the Mark II, the Zeta, the Double Zeta, and the new Gundam. So, yeah, it's good shit. You'll feel good about yourself.
Yeah, I guess after the new, I'll need what? And a G, Unicorn, an F-91, Crossbone. I don't care about half those things.
Well, yeah, don't go.
Anyway.
Don't need Crossbone.
Moving swiftly on to Chopamon, who is building a kit as we speak.
Live.
Rude.
I just finished it as we started recording, actually. I didn't realise I had so little to do on it. I just finished snapping together the P. Bandai Woundwort, which I spoke about the last time I was on, or a few times before that. It's a really cool, nice to build HG. It's P. Bandai. I don't know if P. Bandai means it's better than other HGs, because I didn't really notice it. Or it's just it's just limited for money reasons.
Yeah, it doesn't mean better at all. It means more expensive.
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah. So it's a cool little kit. And then next on the list is the RG unit. Oh God, Unit 0 from Evangelion.
Ooh, another.
Sick.
Yeah.
How is the Woundwort then? I hear that thing's pretty small.
It's tiny,
It is small. Yeah, it is small. But I really like the design. I like the Woundwort for a while, despite having not watched any of the anime that it's in.
It's not in an anime. It's good.
I think it's got like a background scene in
about Gundam.
Build Fighters. I think it flies through the background in Build Fighters, and that's the only animated moment.
It's from Advance of Zeta, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was like a manga? I don't know. I
think it was a manga originally. Yeah.
Gundam.
It's a really cool little design, and it's got a lot of parts and good colour separation with the kind of dark purple and off-white grey armour, and it's got a good the colour of yellow is good on it. I think what did I build? The HG from the Gundam base of the RX-78-2, and I haven't built a lot of recent kits, not that that's that recent, but it seems like they're going for a slightly warmer shade of yellow.
Yeah, I like that when they do that. I like the kind of mustardy yellow. Like, it's on the Mark II as well. I don't know why they choose to go for like that kind of a shit tacky yellow sometimes. But I think the darker hues of yellow are much nicer. I remember when I got my Barbatos HG for the first time, I painted it in a darker shade of yellow because it just looks so much better than the sort of bog standard look, I guess.
Yeah, I really hate that shade of yellow that they use for that, and I quite like that big Woundwort thing that you've got as well.
Sorry, it's not a Woundwort. Let me read it out for you. It is the RX-124 Gundam TR6 Haven and Lay 2 Ra Advance of Zeta, the Flag of Titans.
Yeah, I'll put that on my Christmas list.
It's nice when people think that they can speak English, isn't it?
Haven Lay 2 Ra. Yeah.
So, Tropes, where did you find this being a P. Bandai kit and
all? Where did I get this? This was from, speaking of people that should give us promotional codes, Jungle Japan, since I mention them on every episode.
Yeah, so you get all the good shit,
Jungle
don't
Japan. You? Yeah, that's it's a second-hand shop. But this kit was brand new. But yeah, they it's just the look of the draw as to what they get in. I keep checking to see whether they've got the RG Evers, but they never come in now. Anything after Unit 0 seems to be rarer than rocking horse shit at the moment.
Yeah, I'm gutted I missed the Unit 2.
On Banzai, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, just anywhere.
So, I think there's one on Amazon UK for like £65 on Prime, but
Ooh.
I'm not paying that.
Nah.
I think that's what I paid for the Unit 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I say that now, but then when the new movie comes out in a few weeks, it'll be straight to Amazon in the opening credits.
as soon as you see that shit animated on your screen, you'll be like, okay.
Yeah.
Nah, that's how these things are. It's just a big toy advert. Eva isn't about anything deep. It's just a big toy advert like everything else is.
Yeah.
No issues at all going on.
No, nothing. No substance. What are you on about? Sam Smith.
Mm-hmm.
What have you been up to?
Hello.
What have you been building?
So I mentioned in the last episode that that Samuel Decal had shipped out my Master Grade Gundam Mark V, which has since arrived. So I've only arrived recently, but I've made a start on that. So I'm probably about halfway through that now. I've got the torso, head, arms done. Working on the legs now. Yeah, it's fantastic. I am amazed that it's a P Bandai kit because it's just brand new. It's totally new. I just I mean I get that it's an obscure suit from an obscure thing, right? It's never been animated, and so I understand that part of it being P Bandai, but just the amount of effort they've put in is remarkable. I mean, that it comes in a full colour box and a full colour manual, whereas normally P Bandai you get the weird, not black and white, but mono colour box. And yeah, the kit's just great. It's I mean, I really like the design of this line of suits. So it starts with the Gundam Mark V. And it goes into the Doven Wolf, and then it goes into the Silver Bullet, which is in Unicorn. And one of you, I can't remember who, pointed out that odds are, right, that now that they've got this kit and this frame for the Gundam Mark V, they'll be able to make those other two suits pretty easily.
Oh yeah,
so,
it's basically the same looking thing, especially like Dolphin Wolf and Silver Bullet, right?
Yeah. So what I wouldn't be at all surprised about is if the Doven Wolf gets a P Bandai Master Grade, and then the Silver Bullet, because that's the most recent and well-known one, that gets a regular release Master Grade.
I wouldn't count on it. I mean, Bandai like their fucking grubby fucking money. So
yeah. I mean, odds are they'll just stick to P Bandai. It's fucking depressing looking at like a list of all the Master Grade kits that came out like in the last couple of years, and it's a handful.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
And then you look at all the P Bandai Master Grade kits that came out in the last couple of years, and it's hundreds. And a lot of them are variants. And but regardless, like it's.
I guess it's because they're kind of low run, but that doesn't really justify the price increase or the kind of nature of like not only hiking the price up, but also making it inaccessible for your international community to even consume. But maybe they just don't care. Maybe they just don't care.
Yeah, there are more P Bandai releases now than ever, and subsequently fewer Master Grade releases than ever.
Yeah,
it's a pretty sorry state of affairs. And the thing is, they have opened the international P Bandai store,
just not in the UK. Yeah,
so, just not in the UK. So they can hang their hat on that and go, oh well, you can buy these kits, internationally if you're in America. But you can, but they're still really fucking expensive. They're still more than they should be. And the point of P Bandai was supposed to be for kind of variants and really obscure offshoots and stuff that just didn't.
You mean like the Gundam Mark V?
Well, yeah, no, the Gundam Mark V, to be honest, it kind of makes sense as a P Bandai. But a lot of the stuff it's just just money grubbing for the sake of it, basically. Yeah.
I think
So it's a shame.
the other really weird one is all the F90 stuff. Have you seen that? Where there's the F90 and the F92.
Project A to Z, isn't it? Yeah. They're doing this F90 Project A to Z, which is where they're going to release 26 different variations of the Gundam F90 Master Grade, which is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, whatever. God forbid anyone who buys all of those. It's a shame as well because I really like that suit. I think a lot of them look really sick.
That kit is meant to be great as well.
Yeah. But anyway, moaning over. Yeah, the Mark V is great. It's my first P Bandai, and it did. It cost me more than a regular kit would have done. I think.
Yeah.
How much? It was probably about $100. Or, altogether.
My HG Hythenlay 2 Ra came out at around $100 as well.
Yeah, but it's a modern master grade with everything that entails. It's lovely. Putting it together is a dream. Super easy.
It's massive as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's huge. I've been comparing it to my Perfect Grade Exia as I've been building it, and it's not that much smaller.
Right.
Because obviously it's from Gundam Sentinel. For people who aren't aware, the Gundam Mark V is basically the villain suit in Gundam Sentinel, which was a kind of novel series in the 90s. Maybe it was the late 80s even. I can't remember. And the hero suit was the S Gundam, Sentinel Gundam, which became the EXS Gundam, which eventually becomes the Deep Striker. And if you know those suits, you know those things are fucking massive. And the Gundam Mark V is only a teeny weeny bit smaller, so yeah, it's a big boy.
So you're going to get the Deep Striker to match then, Sam?
No, because from what I've seen of that kit, it is a brick. Absolute brick. And the modern kind of re-releases of the S and the EXS still seem to be largely based on the kind of 20-year-old version.
Yeah,
so
I think they tuned up a few bits.
Yeah, the frame's all the same, isn't it?
Yeah, and it still uses some of the shitty old plastic and stuff. They're not meant to be great kits.
So,
and also
what you're saying,
Deep Striker
Sam,
is huge. Yeah.
is that you're not going to buy the MG Deep Striker, but you're going to buy the mechanical version of the Deep Striker.
The Tiefstürmer.
No, at no point am I going to buy the Deep Striker. I'm sorry.
But you keep going about how kits should be really big, so...
Yeah, no. I maybe one day, if I own a house with a spare room, then absolutely. But until then, no. But yeah, the Mark V, I should have it finished soon, but it's lovely. Can't recommend it enough. I know the design is definitely a... it's a kind of Marmite thingy. You either love it or you hate it, but I really like this design, so...
Have you seen those photos of the, I don't know if it's 1/35th scale or 1/20th scale XS Gundam? It's a resin thing that some guy in Japan made.
No.
It's literally...
it's fucking huge, isn't it?
It's like man-sized. It's just like a person on a stick, standing there.
It is amazing. It is a sight, isn't it?
It's ridiculous.
I can't imagine how someone's done that either. Yeah. Moving swiftly on then. John.
Hi.
What have you been building?
I have been building the Master Grade Barbatos, and I am here to tell you that it is lovely. It is really, really nice. The Barbatos, well, I'm one of those people that likes the Lupus a lot better, really. But
same.
I sort of impulse purchased the Barbatos, really. And then, for those of you that aren't members of the Discord server, we have kind of group builds, and they have a theme, and our theme at the moment is IBO. So I thought, well, what better time than to build the Barbatos? And it's just one of those kits that it's just so nice. Everything goes together so well. And it's a little bit like, I've heard you guys talking about the real grade Mark II, and it feels a bit like building like a real robot. You build the frame and it's all really lovely and mechanical, and then you kind of layer the armour on top, and it's like that. It's kind of simple, but it's complex, and you build all these little parts. And you think, what the fuck am I building? And then suddenly, oh shit, and you've got this really well-engineered leg with sliding piston stuff. It's just lovely. It's just a really nice kit.
Yeah, I can't wait for that Leapers release. I think that's what I'm hanging on for, really. Like, I love the design of the Leapers so much. I've just been hesitant because I don't love that original Barbatos version. Chokes,
That'll be P Bandai though.
Chokes,
That'll
you've
be
not
P
bitten
Bandai.
for the Barbatos, have you? The Master Grade.
I haven't, but I do have the Amazon JP page for it open.
It is.
Oh,
Put it this way.
Yeah,
I think if any other IBO Master Grades are the same quality, I think I'd find it hard not to pick them up, just because it's just such a nice kit. It's just so fun to put together. And it's so different
Having
as well.
not built a Master Grade from... Sorry, I spoke
No,
over
don't
you
worry.
and carry on.
Go on, Will.
Having not built a Master Grade from IBO, do they feel different at all from other Master Grades, or are they what you'd expect?
Well, it's the first one, but it's sort of...
Yeah, it's the only
I think if you've built a lot of sort of similar Master Grades, you kind of know how it goes together. You sort of... Like, you know how it works,
Yeah.
and after you've built a few, you could kind of build them without the manual, really. But this one, just because the frame is so different, and it's like a really full, detailed... It's like a skeleton. I'm painting the frame like a bone white because it just reminded me so much of a skeleton when I was doing it. So it doesn't feel like you're building a Gundam kit. It just feels like you're building like a really interesting model kit.
nice.
How does it compare to the 1/100? The RE.
I think it's completely different.
100
I think those 1/100 kits were basically just like the high grade, but just kind of blown up.
Yeah. I built the 1/100 Lupus Rex. These are the no grade ones we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
basically just a big high grade. Yeah. No inner frame or anything. Oh well,
okay.
a tiny bit of inner frame, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you get quite a lot of parts in the box,
Fine.
and most of it is frame. Like, once I've built the frame, I kind of used most of the parts just because there's so much of it, and it all goes together in such like a complex way. It's really good. It's really interesting.
Going on the list.
Uh-oh. Are we going to have a mid-episode recording purchase? Who knows?
No, I'm
Always,
not doing
always.
that because I'm dangerously close to a birthday, and if I spoil it, then that would be a life not worth living. But maybe afterwards.
Hey, so maybe.
Yeah, man.
I think that...
Go on.
No, go ahead if you have more to say.
I was going to say, it's the first time I'm using some photo etch parts as well this time, on an actual Gundam
shit.
kit anyway, so tiny metal spiky pieces, and so far they are a massive pain in the arse. But
Is it one of them upgrade kits?
yeah, it's just like a little sheet that I got from JL Gunpla.
Yeah, Jason Lamb. He's
that's
in the
him,
UK
yeah.
Gunpla Modelers Facebook group.
Yeah, he is. He seems to be able to find anything that you could ever desire. So
It's very handy.
I was applying them with little dots of super glue, and I was just basically gluing my fingers to the model kit and then the model kit to my face, and it was becoming an awful experience. But someone told me that you can use PVA, which is a bit more manageable. So I'm going to give that a go next time.
Yeah, just get some Gorilla Glue on that motherfucker, that won't move. Right. I think with that sorted, shall we move on to some new kit news, fellas? Right, welcome to New Kit News, and we've got a bumper edition for you, as there are quite a few interesting new kits releasing very soon. And we'll start at the top of the list on our little document, which is the entry grade Strike Rouge round box version. And this appears to be a entry grade Strike, which we knew about already, to be fair, but with a box developed by a snack company, like a biscuit company, and it comes.
It looks like a Pringles tube.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I want it a lot.
It's also giving me Bionicle vibes.
Yeah, I was going to say this is giving me big Bionicle energy.
No, if they don't come in a can, then are you even building the robot?
Big Bionicle energy.
I'm into it.
God, bring back Bionicle.
Yeah, please, Lego, do it.
Don't start this Bionicle thing again. We already lost one podcast to it.
Yeah, no, Bionicle was trash. Don't
Nah,
never
fuck
forget.
you guys. Fuck
What?
you guys.
Trash.
I think
Trash.
So entry
T-Rex.
grades remind me. I'm a bit out of the loop on these. Have we had many already, or is this
It's
a
just
relatively
the
new thing?
RX-78 too.
Right, and it's like a. It's not the
It's like a baby version.
first grade.
No.
It's like,
Like a
easier
super
or
duper
slightly-
easy version. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a simplified high grade, if that. Yeah.
I need to see some runners.
Yeah. Yeah. They're
the runners are so you're not supposed to need tools. So a bit like the mega size kits, you can snap the pieces off, and they've got tiny little gates on the runners. So I've seen people on Twitter building it in the bag because the RX-782 doesn't come in a box; it comes in just a plastic bag. So you're supposed to be able to build it without opening the bag, which is interesting.
That's wild.
That's pretty cool, but the bag does look pretty fucked up afterwards. doesn't it?
Well, yeah, presumably.
I would buy one of these if I was in Japan
baby.
and saw one of these in a shop. I would get one of these for novelty because
Yeah.
they come in a tub with crisps and what was it called? Corn potage snack, 20 grams times 2. So it seems like a good novelty thing to get because how often do you get a Gundam in a tub?
Tub dam.
I really like this snow variant of the RX-78 too. It's like
We've not moved on to this yet, Will. You.
sorry, it's in. It's
have
sort of part of the same.
Well, the second one on my list is the entry grade RX-78 2 Gundam Snow version. Continue.
Yeah, it's like white with some like light greys and pastel baby blues. It's lovely.
Yeah, it reminds me of the G3 version a little bit,
Yeah,
but kind of lighter.
and a little bit like that Gundam-based colour that they do sometimes, the blue one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they like the blues,
Yeah,
don't
it's
they?
Gundam based colour. Yep.
Yeah, it's 1650 yen, 1,650 yen, which is not expensive, but
It's a bit more expensive than the normal entry grade RX-78 2, which I think comes in 1,000
Yeah.
yen cheaper. So
which is weird, right?
So you're paying 1,000 yen for a tube and for some Pringles. A tenner, please.
Bargain.
Tenner, please.
20 grams of
It's
crisps
about
is
what
what you're
high
paying
grade
for
costs,
there.
though, isn't it?
It's the novelty you get there.
True.
It's the tub. Imagine all the spare parts you could put in that tub. Your Gundam tub. I want one.
Or other knickknacks.
Yeah. Hands, etc., etc. There's an entry grade RX-78 2 painting model version. Gundam-based Fukuoka will be releasing a limited edition entry grade RX-78 2 to promote the fun in building and painting Gunpla. So this is molded in all white. I think they've done this with a Haro before. They've done a painting model version of something before. It might have been a unicorn, I think. But the idea is that you can paint it whatever colour you want. But if you're painting, then you could have just painted it.
Yeah, I'm confused about this. Would he not just cover it with primer anyway?
Well, I guess it's for people who are lazy. So
It specifically says it's for what is it? 100% compatible with any Gundam markers. And on the front of the box, in the background, they are advertising that device that I've kind of had my eye on for a little bit, which is the airbrush that you slot Gundam marker pens into.
Ooh.
So that's kind of like a really good, from the looks of it, entry level airbrush. Because I got a proper airbrush and it is such an arseache to set up and clear away and maintain that I've done it on about 2 kits and then binned it off. But that looks like it's quicker and easier to use. It's obviously not going to be as good because you are spraying from the nib of a Gundam marker, but that seems to be what they're going for.
I mean, if it fucking works, you know.
And they might, I don't know what this plastic is moulded in, but I know Games Workshop are doing, with McFarlane Toys, action figures of Space Marines and stuff that are sold. They look like they've been sprayed in grey primer for you to paint directly onto with their paints. So maybe this plastic is different to the standard Gundam plastic.
Maybe. It looks interesting either way. But
I think anything to encourage people to customize Gundams is pretty cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Either way, it's other than that, it's just a normal entry grade Gundam. And okay, so next on our list is the 1:48 scale Unicorn Gundam and Banshee head display base. Psycho frame color variation version. So this is, 1,600 yen? So it's not too much for a 1:48 scale unicorn, but then again, I'd imagine it's not the most complex thing to make, and it'll come unpainted and stuff like that. I think they've done a few of these big head busts before, and they all kind of universally look shit out of the box and require quite a bit of work.
When you use this...
Yeah, and it's meant to be like a stand.
Yeah,
as
exactly.
well.
Yeah.
When you use this as a stand, I don't know what kind of weirdo you'd need to be to want your Unicorn Gundam to be hovering over a giant version of its own head.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's just a bit weird, isn't it? But at least it's a P Bandai only release, so you don't really have
they're
to
welcome
pay
to it.
too much attention.
Agreed. If you are importing that, you are a strange person.
You're an idiot. Right, that's kind of boring. So moving on, we've got the Gundam Base Limited version of the real grade high new Gundam, not high new, the new Gundam Heavy Weapon System version in clear, which looks all right. It's just a new Gundam Heavy Weapon System with clear parts on it.
Where does the heavy weapon system come from? Because that's not in Charles Counterattack.
It's going to be an MSV, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just an MSV thing, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Mobile Suit
6,600 yen.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really love.
Mate,
the
it's
look
heavy
of
weapons. It's
the
not light
HWX.
weapons. It's heavy weapons.
Yeah, heavy weapons, isn't it? Yeah. Got a big coat on.
Yeah, the
Big
heavy,
coat on, big shields.
the heavy weapon system I think looks better on the high new than it does. It looks a bit weird on the new, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, the high new looks a bit better with its... I think it's kind of built to be a bit bulkier than the new's kind of sleeker look is anyway. Like, the new just looks like it's wearing a big coat, whereas the high new is a bit more integrated, so...
It's got massive missile boobs as well.
I mean, I like this. I'm all for, anything that makes a kit bulkier, but I just don't like clear stuff. It's not for me.
No.
I understand the appeal, but it's not for me.
Yeah, I've seen twice now, like, I've been to Forbidden Planet in London, and I've seen that Pale Rider, but it's fucking clear. And I'm just like, I don't want that version. Please. Please do another one. Thank you. Our next one on the list is a P Bandai with a twist. So, it's... Have you heard of that lad, Detective Conan?
He's the anime
I
boy.
actually haven't heard
Yeah,
of
I
him,
think-
so I was confused by this.
Alright, he's an old detective that's been turned into a boy, and it's very popular. It's been around for ages. So, I think they have a new film coming out or something. And so they've done a collaboration, which is an entry-grade Conan Edogawa x high-grade 1:144 scale Shah Zaku 2 limited colour collaboration kit.
Fuck yeah!
And for some reason, this ties in the Conan movie, which I understand, and Hathaway's Flash with the Shah Zaku 2 that's not in Shah's colours. So,
Okay.
I think this is just a bunch of PR people coming together in one room and being like, well, which characters can we put on a poster?
we like Shah.
And we've got Hathaway coming out soon, so let's stick that on.
Yeah, the Zaku itself doesn't look great.
It looks horrendous, but it does have a fake leather jacket lapel on its chest plate, which is like those awful T-shirts that people wear of like a tuxedo T-shirt, like a
Oh God, it does.
That's exactly what that is.
That is. It's got a red backpack as well. Is that just to tie the Shah into it?
Probably on a separate runner.
Great question.
Maybe it's a separate run that it can be arsed with. Anyway, it looks like shit. It looks like dirt. You shouldn't buy this unless you really like Detective Conan and Shah, I guess. I like the box
I am
art.
all for... Yeah, and more crossovers with anime is cool. I like this stuff. I don't like this one, but more of this sort of thing.
Yeah, that box art's really funny. It has a bunch of Conan characters, and it has Shah, Amuro, and Hathaway on it, like, as well.
Just hanging out.
Of course.
Yeah, they're just like, here we are. We are Gundam characters. next on the list is the real grade Wing Gundam TV version. So this came out, I think, a couple of weeks ago, at the time of recording, because I've seen some reviews of it go out. I don't love this wing design, so I'll defer to you guys to talk about it, because I can't be asked.
Neither do I, so I will.
Honestly, I really struggle. I struggle telling the difference between wings. There are so many, but I like this one.
This is genuinely my favourite wing. I prefer the flat wings, whereas the Wing Zero has the kind of more rounded ones. And then the Endless Waltz version of Wing Zero has the stupid fucking angel wings, which is dumb as fuck. I hate that suit. Anyone who likes the angel wings, don't talk to me.
That was my first Gunpla kit, the Wing Zero custom back in the day.
Of course it was, yeah.
This makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not huge on any of the Wing Gundams, but of all of them, this is my favourite. So it's cool that it's getting an upgrade.
Yeah, it looks nice. I presume the frame's based off of the Wing Zero custom, which is a fine kit. Yeah, I guess if you're a Wing fan, you might enjoy this. Like, I'm personally not into it, but it looks really nice. It looks like it's got decent detail, colour separation, all that RG goodness. So
I might get this, you know. I think the wing is iconic. I'd like to have a kit of the wing.
Yeah, go on then.
Unless there's one you think I should get over this.
Go on then.
No, I think it's probably the best wing.
Get what you want. Yeah, unless you want the one with the shitty angel wings.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, well, there we go.
Speaking of absolutely not, we have the Full Mechanics 1/100 Calamity Gundam. Absolutely.
Can you remind me what Full Mechanics is? Because I can't remember.
It's a big high grade of obscure mobile suits that get a general release. It's like.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's not Full Mechanics. I'm being an idiot. It's Re 100.
Yeah,
that Gundam,
No, it is Full Mechanics.
Barbatos,
it says Full Mechanics.
yeah, that Barbatos we were talking about earlier is Full Mechanics.
Oh, this is
okay.
Full
So
Mechanics.
essentially, it's a no grade 1/100.
Yeah, this is so confusing. Why didn't they just make it a Re 100?
I think that Re 100, although they haven't said it publicly, is just for UC kits.
That makes sense.
Shit, has it only been UC
I
kits?
think so. They did show a while ago there was that kind of promo image with some other stuff on it, but none of that ever came out. So I think they then had to sort of think, well, let's revive the Full Mechanics line from the IBO kits that we're not making anymore and put this seed one in it instead.
Yeah. What I will say, and this is going to be unpopular, is I really like this suit.
Yeah, it's got big guns on it that look like penises. Of course you like it. It appeals to your inner ego.
But I like the colour scheme. I like. I'm not going to get it because it's a giant high grade, and also it's from Seed, which is garbage. But
Looks like it's got two Sharpies on its shoulders.
Yes, it does look like that.
It's just a lot of like, it feels like a child has gone, let's put all the guns on it. But it's somehow more ridiculous than the heavy arms.
I think I would hate this less if it weren't for the shoulders. I think if they brought out the Sword Calamity, I'd probably be more happy with that, because there is a version called the Sword Calamity Gundam, which looks really cool, and, you know, that's inevitably going to be a P Bandai release now that they've done the normal Calamity, I think.
Yeah, now they did the same with the Zaku, didn't they, from Seed? And they just did a million different P Bandai versions of it.
yes, yeah.
Yeah. We'll
Didn't you
on to
get
more
one of
Seed.
those, Simon?
What?
Oh, yeah. I swear someone got the lacquer.
Yes.
The lacquer
Yeah.
satin, I swear.
Yeah. I bought the lax pink.
You bought the ugly one, didn't you?
Yeah, I bought the ugly one, and it looks like a bad kit. I'm not gonna lie. That's a master grade though. That is a master grade. But apparently, like, it's just all stickers and shit. But there is a third-party decal set which I do intend on buying. So yeah, Seed is getting a bit of a revival, it seems like, with the announcement of the Seed Eclipse manga and the announcement, or the formal announcement, of the Seed movie, which has been stewing for the best part of 15 years. So this is the Gundam Eclipse. It'll be a standard release master grade, and I hated this to start with, but as I've looked at it over the past month and a half or so, I kind of want one.
Yeah, me too.
I think this is sick. I really like this.
Really?
We all said it looks like the G Gundam from Hathaway, right? It's
Yeah,
got
it
that
looks
kind of
like-
vibe to it.
It
looks like a spikier version.
Yeah,
of-
it's the G Gundam by the way of Gundam Seed. That's exactly what this is. And it turns into a ship.
I'm grabbing this. I really like this.
And
this.
it's only 5,500 yen, which I think is really reasonable for what looks like a pretty complicated kit.
Well, that's what happens when kits aren't P Bandai.
Yeah. Something that a lot of people noted when this got announced was that it looks like it's based off of the Freedom 2.0 frame as well. So
I wouldn't know. I haven't built it.
yeah, so there's I think from 2016 onwards there was a couple of Seed MGs that use the same frame. So I've built the Providence and Freedom 2.0. I haven't built the Justice. But there is a very, very well-known issue with these kits, which is the kind of leg connector snapping off very, very easily because it's quite tight. And I wonder if they've revised it or not for this, because from what it looks like, if not the same frame, a couple of the same armor pieces as the Freedom, or something like that. So I don't know. It might be a new mold. It might not be, but I hope they have addressed that issue before releasing this, because it has been.
When's this out? It's out before long.
It's out next
July.
month, mate. August.
Oh, August.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm really into it. I think it looks really cool. Who was it who didn't like it?
Me.
Speak up. Really?
Well, to be
I
honest,
don't like it either.
I think
Go on, then.
I think I like the robot version. I just think the ship looks a bit ridiculous.
yeah, but are you ever
And
going to
and you
transform
it?
it?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like,
I've
you
never
can just never.
I have never transformed a single kit I own. I have no interest in it.
Yeah. Go on, Ollie. Why don't you like it, mate?
Doesn't have tits.
It's not like I hate it. It's not like I think it did a war crime. It's just if you're asking me on a podcast about Gunpla my thoughts on it, I don't like it because it's got too the proportions on the extremities for me are out of whack with the rest of it. Like the shoulder pads stick out too far, the feet come to too big a point, and then the things on its belt stick out too far, and then like the gauntlets are too big as well. For me, it's just poorly proportioned. I mean, it's no Penelope, but it's
Yeah.
it's just a bit much for me.
Yeah. I think they clearly were taking notes from the Hathaway Splash designs when making this. Like, they had to be, right? They had to be taking notes from that and just like, how can we make this into a Gundam Seed thing? I like it. I'll probably buy it, I think. I really like it. Yeah. But it's cool to see a brand new MG of a brand new Gundam like immediately. That doesn't happen very often.
No.
I think the last time it happened was the MG Unicorn, actually, because the Unicorn Master Grade and the Sinanju came out before the OVA came out.
Yes, yeah, the Unicorn Verkar, the original one. Yeah, predated the show.
Yeah, I think that this is the first time this has happened since then. It's been over 10 years, surely. So, yeah, cool, Master Grade. Moving on again, we got another Gundam-based limited version. This is the HGUC Gundam Mark II 21st Century Real Type version, which seems to be a recolored Mark II. And I do like the colours on this. It looks very classy.
It's a little bit boring for me, but yeah, I like what they're doing.
That's kind of the point of the real type colours, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I enjoy it.
I appreciate the fact that it exists.
And we also have a premium Bandai mention in here, I'm afraid, lads. It's two different Mesa variants that are featured in the hit manga Hathaway's Flash. I believe this is the Commander type in purple, and another slightly shitter orange version.
So the regular, the Mesa got a regular high grade release.
Right? Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it did.
Okay. Because if they were putting them all on P Bandai, that would be fucking ridiculous. But
Yeah, I think the purple one is just the one that Esmeralda pilots, I think.
yeah, the purple one. The other one just looks like a regular one, though. I don't know what's different.
Yeah, I don't know what is different.
It's got different legs. It's got like big bell bottoms, like a dom.
It's
yeah, like the
funkier.
Commander type.
I see.
It's more 70s. It's cool. I did, after watching Hathaway, consider buying the Esmeralda's version, but it was just a bit too expensive for me to justify for a high grade.
I don't see myself ever buying a high grade again, to be honest. I'm an adult now, Simon. I'm 31 years old. I can't be playing with children's toys.
I am 27, and I will keep playing with children's toys until I die.
Yeah, okay.
We have an announcement, which is a anime, I think. The Bandai Hobby site has revealed a new title for Gundam Breaker project named Gundam Breaker Battlelog. So there's an upcoming anime for the Breaker mobile game. And it also features some new Gunpla designs that will also be released with it. So we've got the HG1144 Gundam Helios, which looks like absolute ass.
Yeah.
I mean, most of these are horrible.
Before we get into this, can I just say that all of these are
Do you remember
horrendous.
what we were... do you remember a few months ago when we were talking about the Build Divers kits?
Yeah,
and we were saying that they look like someone has just thrown a bunch of kits at a wall and seen what happened. This is exactly the same. This is like bare minimum, boring bullshit mashup shit with no real interest in how good they actually look. These are all crap, man. Not into it at all. Total crap.
What were you saying, John?
I was just saying that basically all of these look like total shit to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Like the Helios has the cool backpack thing from the DX, but like just get a DX, right? Like,
no, that's the Freedom's backpack turned upside down, mate.
is it?
Yeah.
What? Oh, it's literally just upside.
You've been
What the
fucking
fuck?
at.
What the fuck? It is literally just upside down. Yeah, this is.
So
This is just people
No good.
being let loose with a bits box, just sticking stuff to stuff. Like, that's all. Like that, I quite like the colours and that Barbatos thing. As I was scrolling down, I thought, "Oh, that looks quite good. I might get that." And then I saw it's got second pair of legs.
The Barbatoros.
Alright, hold your horses. Next we've got Gundam 5 Lance Heaven, which just looks like a death scythe that looks shitter.
Genuinely, I think this might be the worst Gundam design I've ever seen in my life. This one.
Perfect
Honestly.
Strike Freedom, which is a mix between the Strike and a Freedom and every Striker pack. Okay. I find this one personally offensive. The Blazing Gundam. This just looks...
I kind of like this.
Man, it sucks. Have you seen that? Why is the head red?
Yeah, I kind of like the face. It looks like it's wearing boxing gear. It's just weird. I kind of like it.
Nah, I don't jive with it at all.
It's just bare minimum. It's so close to what it's based on, and they've just gone like, oh, he's got a different foot and a different head. Like, nah.
The next one is the Gundam Barbatorus, which I quite like, actually. I will never buy it, but I think it's quite fun looking. It's just
it's a good idea.
It's a centaur, and it comes with a big bow, so...
I think this fucking sucks ass, and I hate the colours. I hate the colours on this. I hate everything about this. Honestly,
Its legs are on backwards. its back legs are facing the wrong direction.
This looks like a fucking Bionicle, is what this looks like. I hate it.
That's true.
Guess what? I'm a
Absolutely
Bionicle
hate it.
fan. I like the Barbatorus. Put me down. I'll go to bat for this.
Looks like it's made of fucking Technic or whatever it was called. Dog shit. Kill it. Not Scale-Electric.
Got the Command Quanta, which is a tactical version of the Quanta. Looks like ass. I don't like it. The most offensive ones are the last two. Because the ground-type Gundam Urban Warfare version looks like a recolor of an Origin kit. It looks like it was an Origin kit at some point. This is some sort of MSV colouring they're going for. But aside from that, it's just the ground Gundam. And the most heinous one is the Goof Crimson Custom, which is just a Goof Custom in red. That's it. Minimum effort. And we have I
kind of like this Wing Gundam Sky Zero. That's nice.
It looks like a fucking Tic Tac. It's a Wing Gundam, but it's all like sort of teal and green.
I like that.
I'm not even going to talk about the Astray because it looks like dog shit. So,
yeah, that is horrible.
I think that, you know, when it was like the what's the big hobby show where they normally announce loads of stuff, Shizuoka, and they didn't this year, and everyone said, "What the hell's going on?" This is why, isn't it? Because they just wanted to like shuffle it out of the back door.
No.
Right, shall we take a quick break, boys?
Yeah.
Yes. I need to go get
And we can get to Hathaway.
Welcome back to Gunpla Club, and we've got a bit of anime news for you this month. The first piece of which is that you know that Evangelion thing.
No, I haven't heard of it.
Heard of it?
Well, yeah, that new Rebuild film is coming to Amazon Prime on August 13th, so you'll be able to watch it for free if you have an Amazon Prime subscription, which is pretty cool.
That's so cool.
It's pretty soon, isn't it?
Cue
after...
Bezos 1 from Inside. Yeah, I'm chuffed. It's you know, it's nice that we don't have to wait a million years for this.
The days of waiting a year and a half for an anime movie to release with English subtitles are finally gone, it seems.
Yeah. What about the other ones?
They're going to add them all at the same time, I think. Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
I love them. I watched them recently, and
I've totally
the
forgotten
first two are
what happens in
quite
the first.
similar.
I don't know what happens in the third. I've completely forgotten it or erased it from my mind.
Yeah, I know that as well.
It's
I watched one of them, and
fully
then the
weird.
second one... is this the third one that's coming out now?
No, this is the fourth one.
Yeah, so I watched the first two together.
They called it 3+1.
And then when I watched the third one, I got confused and couldn't remember what had happened in the last two, and I just switched it off because I got overwhelmed by it.
Didn't
I
have
think,
the
like,
mental energy.
You're meant to feel like that with the third one because it's like, what the fuck is going on? Like it doesn't really
No, I think
feel
you're
like
just.
a
I
continuation.
think you're just thick. Makes total sense.
I mean, it is
I
possible.
mean, I will say that I'm thick and don't understand most things.
Yeah.
So-
I haven't seen it in years. I don't remember shit. To be fair.
Hound, just to check before we talk about this, has everyone seen the third Rebuild movie?
Yes.
No, and that's why I was
Okay.
asking
Right.
about... I've seen 1 and 2,
Right.
and I need to watch the third one, obviously.
Okay. We'll leave it there then and let you do that.
I hope they bring back that scene of Shinji in the hospital
No.
when he's got some time to kill, you know, and
God's sake.
There's another film that came out recently that is related to this podcast. You may or may not have heard of it. It's called Mobile Suit Gundam.
Fast and Furious 9.
Hatha-
No, okay. Right. Sorry, I was wrong.
Sorry.
Something about family.
This is not... Yes.
I mean, they have gone to space now, so it's the next conclusion.
Fuck. Spoilers, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, they go to space.
that's in the trailer.
I've not seen it.
Well, they go to space.
Oh. Well, I didn't
But
know
it's
they
not
went to
trailer. I'm
space.
sorry.
Yeah, well,
Fucking hell.
Oh well. Yeah, the film will be ruined for you now. The otherwise tightly plotted Fast and Furious 9 will now fail to have the intended effect because you know that the characters played by Tyrese and Ludacris go to space in a literal car with a rocket strapped to the top of it.
Oh, this is so good.
What the fuck?
Is this where we
They are
find
really
out
going to
that
struggle.
Vin Diesel doesn't need to
outdo
breathe
themselves.
oxygen?
Can I make a confession?
Yeah.
I've never seen any Fast and Furious film.
Oh,
Sire
mate.
Will is going to kill you where you
I'll
stand.
join him. Tokyo Drift. Best film ever made.
Yeah, man, it is
Yeah,
a religion.
I've only seen Tokyo Drift and 5.
Five
good ones.
is the best one, to be fair. So.
Do I need to watch all of them?
No.
Yes. Yeah, of course you do.
No.
I mean, Siam, the real answer to this question is no, you don't, because they are all the same film.
Okay.
And also, none of them are very good. But also, I love them. So, yes, you should.
They're kind of like Final Fantasy, or perhaps more like Zelda, like where they are all like
Slightly different takes
Well-
on the same story. Yeah.
yeah, but you don't need to have watched any of the previous ones because they try to trick you into thinking that there's some connective story, but they let you know, or like you already know what the connected story is through like cultural osmosis.
Okay.
So you kind of don't need to worry too much, and all of it is just madness. It's just
And each time they get
no
a bigger
one,
budget.
no one says no anymore, which is great.
I did a film studies kind of course at uni, and near the beginning of it, everyone was sitting round having like a fucking wank discussion about what all their favourite films were, and everyone was coming out with all kinds of bullshit. And there was one girl who just looked
Joker.
dead in the eye and just said, "Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift."
Yes.
And it was
Hell yeah.
from that moment on.
And that woman is now my wife.
Nah. Alright. Maybe I'll get on that. Maybe I'll get on that
Mate,
fast.
no, seriously. I feel like it's such a fun franchise to sit through. Like, it's worth it, 100%.
Okay, when you come down to Sheffield, we'll invite you over and watch Fast and Furious.
Hell
They
yeah.
are somewhat innocent and non-cynical, which is a rare thing in a modern blockbuster.
Are they innocent in the sense that all the characters, you could presume, are all asexual and don't know what sex is?
No, some of them have kids.
Some of them are a bit
have
like
kids.
that.
So.
But what I mean is, it's like it doesn't feel that it's been made by cynical executives, and obviously it has been,
Yeah.
but it doesn't feel like that. It just feels like a bunch of people got together and said, what is the craziest thing we could do with some cars?
What if car in space?
Yes, and no one says no, and then they just keep adding people. Like Ludacris is just in it now, and then John Cena is just in it. The Rock has now got his own spin-off franchise.
Statham's in it. Helen Mirren is in it. Like,
What?
Yeah. Mate. Oh, fucking Snake. Oh my god, what's his name? Kurt
David
Russell
Hayter?
is in it.
All
No,
right.
Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell's
Oh
in it.
God, he is, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but my favourite thing, and I realise this is a real tangent we're going off on, my favourite thing about the Fast and Furious films is that they are still having to portray Vin Diesel as a badass, as he has gotten progressively older and fatter and more potato-headed. Like, Vin Diesel now is a round man who is not threatening to anybody, but those films still have to make him look like the hottest shit in the universe. Like, the kind of person where you're like, yeah, he could fight John Cena and not absolutely die, you know?
And he has absolutely zero charisma.
Yeah, he's got
or
nothing.
ability to act.
Yeah.
He's
You
got
know,
family.
I saw the other day that the reason he had the fallout with The Rock is because he dared to criticise The Rock's acting ability. And I'm like, I would fall out with Vin Diesel if he dared to criticise my acting ability.
Oh my god.
Yeah, pretty
Imagine being in the room and The Rock just like silently like just
Imagine thinking that you can square up to The Rock.
in any way. You know, muscles, acting, cooking, dancing. I don't give a shit. There is nothing that Vin Diesel can do better than The Rock. And that's just the end of it.
Isn't Vin Diesel shorter as well, and they had to like composite some shots together or something like that?
Yeah. He's a little potato man, honestly.
He loves a show tune as well, doesn't he? Vin Diesel.
Does he?
I'm sure there was some like
Dungeons and Dragons.
videos of him at home just belting the show tunes out a few years ago.
All right, well, I respect that.
I might have
So
dreamed
like
that, but
Remember
Anyway.
when we were talking about Gundams?
Let's
Gundam
talk about
Hathaway came
Yeah.
out on Netflix not too long ago, and we've all watched it, correct?
correct.
Yes, I watched it yesterday.
So for those of you who don't know, it's kind of a sequel to Char's Counterattack, in which we see Hathaway Noah, the son of Bright Noah, the captain of numerous ships throughout the Universal Century timeline. Hathaway, after the loss of Quest, after he fucked up and got killed, he has decided to become a terrorist. The Earth Federation has become mega fascist again.
Boys will be boys.
Boys will be boys. And this little new type boy is... I say boy, no, he's like 25 or something in the
It's like
film.
25 at this point, yeah.
Yeah.
It's set 12 years after Char's counterattack.
Yeah, it's quite a distance, isn't it?
Yeah.
So 12 years after, the Federation are fully corrupt at this point, and he's started a terrorist band known as Mafty, in the localization. Right. I know Arabic, so I know how this should have been said. It should have been Mufti Nabi Erin, right? But for some reason, it's Mafty Naviu Erin.
It's because
Okay.
Mafty is less immediately funny than Mufti. Right? Because Mufti, I'm thinking of two things. I'm thinking of Wear Your Own Clothes to School Day, right? And I'm thinking of hairy vagina. Okay, so I can understand.
What about the
Mafty.
what about the Naviu shit? It's Nabi. Nabi.
Don't they say it's
easy.
like a mixture of Arabic, Irish, like
Yeah, the
Gaelic
last bit is
and
Irish.
some other language? I
The
don't know.
last
It's
bit is
fucking
Irish.
bullshit, man. Dude, all the names in this film are. I mean, and the thing is that this film is based on a book that was written shortly after Char's counterattack. So I mean, that was almost 30 years ago.
Originally,
So-
Hathaway was billed as a sequel to Belle Talk-Chica's Children, as well.
Yes, which was a kind of alternate novelization of Char's counterattack.
Yeah, that's where the Heine and the Nightingale appear.
Yeah, but no, the point I'm making is that all the ridiculous names in this film are not new creations. It was Tomino back in the late 80s, early 90s, thinking that he knew what English was, just kind of
but
shitting onto a
there is
page.
there is a really good juxtaposition in this of people manhandling like the pronunciation of Mafty and a whole bunch of other weird names, and then Kenneth.
Yeah, man, Kenneth Slag.
All right. I'm gonna
Slag.
before we launch into the chat about the film, I'm just going to list out the names on here.
Yeah, do it.
Please
So
do.
we have Hathaway Noah, Mafty Navu Erin. We've got our main heroine, Gigi Andalusia.
I don't like the... Yeah, we'll talk about her.
She's a woman in a Tomino written thing. We have Kenneth Slegg,
Yeah.
all-round Chad.
Yeah, big boy. The only likeable character in the film.
We've got the lovable twink Lane Aim, who's our little new type for the show. We have Gauman Nobile. He's a Mafty member. We have Emeralda Zubin, another member of Mafty. I like this one. Raymond Kane. That's a fucking cyberpunk ass name.
Yeah, no, that's pretty.
You'd
metal,
roll
to be
a.
honest.
You'd
That's
roll
pretty
a.
good. I'm into Raymond.
You'd
Kane.
roll a character with that name, Raymond Kane,
Yeah.
ex-detective.
Fuck yeah.
Like, you can think about
It
that.
does feel like they had like a randomizer and they just like made up some names. And like, yeah, that'll do.
Yeah.
We've got Iram Massam. I don't
that
know.
could be a real name for all I know.
The next
I'm
one's
not
pretty
about to
good.
jump. Not about to jump into that shark bit.
Next one is Mahesia Hence, which is just letters.
Just sounds.
And then we have Kenji Mitsuda.
All right, well that's just a Japanese name.
And then we have Mace Flower. Yes. Okay. And this is... Okay, the following two are probably my favourites. We have Hundley Yoksan. And then Quacksalver.
Quacksalver is the best one.
Great name.
When somebody in the film went, was this the doing of Quacksalver? I almost turned it off, to be honest.
Yeah, I had to do a double take at that.
I was
I was watching it
I'm
on the
going
second
home.
monitor
I'm
while I was
going
working.
home. I mean, I was at
and I was like, what? Hang on.
Quacksalver.
Quacksalver.
Yeah.
And then we have Kelly Adace, which is boring. But yeah, good Tomino names all round, I feel.
Yeah, sure.
So...
Can I just say that Hathaway's shift into, terrorist saviour, depending on how you want to view him, he talks about Quess a lot. He knew her for what, a day?
Yeah, but they were both new types, innit? So
Yeah,
they have that weird
this is,
mental telepathy thing going on.
Yeah, Tomino loves this idea that the two new types meet and they immediately fall in love and know everything about it. Same with Amuro and
Shah.
I'm
not wrong.
Lala.
I've forgotten her bloody name. Yeah, Lala. Amuro and Lala. Like she's not actually in the show for very long. They don't.
It's
actually
like
know each other for very long.
it's Camille and Four. It's Amuro Lala.
yeah.
It's that whole thing, and
That's
we see it
fair.
in this film as well with.
And if I
Hathaway
was
and
being
Gigi.
if I was being cynical, and I would never be cynical, but if I was being cynical, I would say it's because Tomino has no idea how women think, act, speak, or generally are. But that would be if I was being cynical, and I'm not going to be
I
cynical.
can't imagine where
you know
get
what,
that
Sam?
idea.
I think you're right. Like, you could tell kind of in Zeta when he's like, okay, let's do 4. And then they're like, okay, what do? We need another like a woman in this series. Okay, Rosamia. And he just did the exact same storyline twice.
Literally the same storyline twice within the space of about 20 episodes, yes. Yeah.
So, the film opens with Hathaway on a chartered flight full of Federation officials, of course, because his daddy got him some tickets on this elite flight, and it is hijacked by some purported fake members of Mafty. I thought this scene was really cool.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
loved all the futuristic shit, like the wine glasses that were like magnetized, and like the hand washer that was like inside a globe. It was really cool.
I think one thing that I think is just unarguable is that this is probably the best Gundam has ever looked. This film.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
It looks fantastic, absolutely fantastic. There is CGI, but it's mostly
not-
used relatively tastefully to the point
It's
where
not out of the way. I could tell, but I never like took notice of it. If you know what I mean.
Do you know what
I felt like it actually improved it,
Yeah, I'll always prefer traditional animation. Do you know what I actually found more egregious than the CGI? And I'm interested to know if any of you guys noticed this. Is the film uses quite a lot of rotoscoping, which is, if you don't know, is where they basically draw over live action.
Yes, I have seen. This is a quirk of the director, Shunko
Yes.
Murase, I think it is. He did Ergo Proxy.
Oh, did he?
other stuff.
Ergo Proxy's great.
Yeah.
But there's a scene, and it's throughout the film, but there's a scene right at the end when Hathaway is walking.
It's
along
the last shot of the
walkway on a
film.
ship.
Yeah.
Yes, and it is so obviously rotoscoped. It looks utterly unnatural. So go back and check that out if you missed it. It is like right at the end. But that I could have done without. It's purely a kind of time saving thing as well. Is the thing like
Yeah.
You can claim it's artistic choice all you like, but you're talking shit. Right?
I think it's like the Ralph Bakshi Lord of the Rings occasionally, in it. Like it's just like whoa.
I don't think any of us have ever seen that. So.
It's basically fully rotoscoped version of Lord of the Rings from the 70s. It's very funny. I implore you, check it out.
But whinging aside, like I said, this film looks incredible.
Yeah. It sounds amazing as well. I was really impressed by the sound design. Like every kind of fizzle and thruster, and when you're in the cockpits of the messes when they're, this is later on in the story, but attacking the hotels, it's like, oh, you really feel like you're in that cockpit. It felt so good.
I
so
think
immersive.
the thing is that it, there's a general like prescribed sound effect list from UC Gundam, right? And they just didn't use any of it.
Yeah, they changed them, didn't they? The director was saying how he changed the sound for the Vulcans, for the head guns, and changed the beam saber sounds and things, and it works. Doesn't it? When you hear them, it's meaty. Like it doesn't have that kind of 70s pew 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 going on.
Yeah, that first scene is really cool. It gets hijacked, and then Gigi does her telepathic thing, and
it's nice and violent. There's blood.
It's violent. There's blood.
Yeah.
My favourite bit is where that husband is shot in the head, and his wife runs into the wall and knocks herself out.
Absolutely stacks it.
And then she fucking kicks it as well, doesn't she? She got shot in the head later on.
She asks to get shot. She gets what she wants. Yes.
Was that to show that Hathaway doesn't really, although like civilians are clearly going to die as a result of what he's up to, like he didn't seem to agree with their brutality.
It's supposed to paint the real Mafty in a more sympathetic light, isn't it? And they're not they may be terrorists, but they're not quite as bad as these terrorists, although they are, But and then Gigi does a fucking stupid telepathy. I hate this character, man.
Her hair, by the way, I don't want to know how long they spent animating her hair. It was ridiculous.
20 minutes. It was
probably longer
surprisingly
than
that. Easy. Yeah. I mean, we can put some of this down to Tomino, right? But I implore Sunrise and anime production in general to hire female writers, please. Or at least
talk
a male
to a
writer
woman.
that has
at least
a
talk
wife.
to a woman.
Yeah, like I really hate this trope of the mysterious woman who knows everything, because it's just reductive and it's boring and it's been done to death. And so she is not only that, but she's also bipolar as fuck. Like Will, I think you mentioned in our chat, like she's like femme fatale 1 minute and then like really weirdly childish the next. And I was wondering about this, and I was thinking like Hathaway's previous love interest is Quess, who is one of the worst characters in all of Gundam ever. But she was a 13-year-old girl, and she kind of acted like a 13-year-old girl. So I wonder if they've been like, well, let's make a character that reminds him of her.
Well, Gigi's supposed to be 15, isn't she?
Is she? I thought
She's
it was 19.
15. Oh no.
Yeah, I'm sure she's supposed to be
almost certain
15.
it's older than that.
Someone feel free to correct me on that, somebody, but I'm pretty sure that I read that.
I think they mention her age in the
I'm gonna look
film.
that up now, actually. Yeah, she's 19.
Oh,
she's 19.
that's better.
So it's everyone who was about to report themselves to the police. Don't worry, you're off the hook.
Sorry, false alarm, guys.
But yeah,
the thing for me is she didn't really bring a lot other than like she did highlight Hathaway's weakness, and that was like specifically mentioned. But otherwise, it was like it doesn't make sense why she is here.
No,
like, what?
Well, they did
and
kind of
to be
explain
fair,
it,
that will be I assume that will be explained in future films. She gives that excuse that she's like the partner of some old aristocrat, which I assume is supposed to be bullshit. Is implied that that's kind of not true.
No, my reading of that was completely different. I thought she was hired, like she's basically like an escort.
Oh right.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh well, that's even worse then. The fucking magical hooker trope.
The magical hooker, is that a thing?
It's 100% a thing, dude. Like fucking Pretty Woman, you know. It's like, she's a hooker, but she knows everything, and she's really clever. Really, it's just fucking.
So,
but
is the novel?
Yeah, I just
Does the novel just cover this film? Like, are the next two films off-piste from now on?
no. You're saying, is this film the entirety of the novel?
Yeah,
No, it isn't.
right. Okay.
It's the first.
Not in the slightest.
No, partially correct, because the first novel is a bit meatier and goes into a bit more detail. And I presume they're adapting the second and third. Like, I don't remember. I read some summaries years ago. But yeah, my favourite bit of the film, completely unironically, is when Kenneth turns to Hathaway and is like, "What's your name?" And Hathaway just goes fully James Bond. He's like, "Noah, Hathaway, Noah," and then it launches into a Bond tune. Like,
there is a full Bond tune, isn't there?
Yeah, and it was a very, very nice opening credit sequence. I thought.
You know what's interesting actually is that this was a Sawano soundtrack, but it wasn't very Sawano. It wasn't, like a lot of his other shit. You can just take a piece from, I don't know, Unicorn, and a piece from Attack on Titan, and a piece from Xenoblade Chronicles X, and they all kind of sound the same, And this was very different. There was no Sawano drops, so to speak. It felt much more restrained,
as it should be, because this isn't a traditional Gundam movie in the sense that Charles Counterattack is a Gundam movie. This is a very slow burn spy thriller.
Yeah, it's part one. It's part one of 3, isn't it? Is the thing.
Yeah.
So,
I really like the slower pace it took. I really like the kind of they didn't lean on mobile suit battles 5 minutes in. They saved that shit till last, and it was very good.
A lot of people complained that final scene was too dark. And while
Mans need to get OLED TVs.
Well, while I can understand that complaint, I disagree. I think it looked fantastic. I loved it. It was so moody because think about it. How many Gundam shows, movies, whatever, have you seen where there's a fight at night time, but for some reason everything is perfectly lit, right? This felt so much more
natural,
moody, and natural, and it felt like it had a real physical presence because of the lighting. I thought it looked absolutely fantastic.
It's not just because of the lighting; it's like the sense of scale and pace as well. Because when Hathaway's walking around and those, the Federation comes up and asks for everyone's papers in some poor neighborhood or something. There's a mobile suit that just kind of crashes down. And, there's a really grand sense of scale, and you see this in the kind of chase sequence afterwards when they're escaping the hotel. They have a scale to the mobile suits which I think isn't often seen. Maybe in that one sequence in F91, I will say.
Yeah.
Where the chick gets bonked on the noggin with the
with the baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this does it and turns it into an amazing sequence, and I thought it was really good, really impactful.
There's some really nice details that make that work. There's that. Did you notice that bit where there's the Messer landing on? It's like a house roof, and then the roof doesn't fully support it, so it sort of halfway falls through, and then just stumbles down the front of the house. And it's like, shit, these things are genuinely massive, heavy machines.
And you see that when they're kind of caught in between the mobile suits as well, and they're just kind of running through the middle of it. And there's little touches that they put in, the beam would melt the metal. You know what I mean? Yeah. The beam would make the tree set on fire, stuff like that. It's very cool.
I think the most impressive scene visually is the one in all the trailers where the Mafty dude gets skewered by the Federation suits, and there's all the sparks, and Hathaway and Gigi are down there, on the ground while all the sparks are coming out of this suit, and it just
they're having a new type moment.
It just looks fantastic, man. It just looks so good.
Ollie, I'm curious to see what you think about this, because you obviously have no context whatsoever.
Yeah, so I had no idea what was going on. I also had no idea it was going to be a number of films, because I felt that this felt like the middle of a prestige TV show series. Like you were supposed to have seen the first part of the series, and then this was the middle, and then there would be the end.
That's pretty accurate, to be honest.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense that I'm looking forward to seeing the other films that come out for this, because I really like the style and the tone of this film. I had no idea what I was getting into when I was watching it, and I expected it to be a more mobile suit focused movie with lots of action and stuff, but it's actually, there's a lot of just human interaction.
Yeah.
And it really reminds me of some of the story beats in the Metal Gear saga, which I'm a huge fan of, with the question of, like, is Big Boss a terrorist or a hero? And like secret armies being put together on continents and stuff. And it captured me with some of that. And the quality of the animation is fantastic. The look is fantastic. The sound is fantastic. I just went back and rewatched that rotoscoped scene at the end, and that is awful.
Yeah, you see what I mean?
That is,
you see what I mean?
That is Han Solo walking over fake Jabba the Hutt's tail in those Star Wars remasters. But I have some problems with, like, Gigi is you find something with male writers where women cannot have any quality other than being a woman.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's like you can be a man and you can, but you cannot be a woman and. It felt like Gigi was.
Yeah, you're right.
Was that, and she was just used, like, her bipolar thing is like, well, we want this for this scene and this for this scene, and I really hated it.
She exists purely to further Hathaway's character and to a lesser extent Kenneth's. Yes. You know, she is a plot device basically, and not even a subtle one, because she knows who Hathaway is. Why? Because what's the reason she gives? He gets angry that they're like pretending to be Mafty, and it's like, the man could have just been angry that they just shot two people. Like, it's so tenuous, so tenuous. Yeah, she's easily the weakest part of it.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed, like, the tone of it, and I watched it with the dub on.
Me too. I watched it
which
twice.
I normally never do, and I thought the dub was excellent.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was fantastic. The UC Gundam dubs generally are good.
Yeah, there was a couple of lines where they were definitely rushing the English to fit it in with the lip sync. Yeah. But generally, I thought it was excellent, and it again helped with the tone, because the delivery, I thought, was spot on for most of the scenes, and the music was so good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Someone doesn't miss, man.
You know, it's all up on Spotify, and I have downloaded a very high quality FLAC version of the soundtrack as well.
It's all on Spotify. Oh, sick!
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really impressed. One thing that we haven't really talked about so far is the way that they did the G versus Penelope, because I think this is why they didn't animate it until now. Because how do you animate those designs?
Can we clarify as well? G, or they pronounce it in the movie Kazizi.
Well, it's like Kaji, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, they tried to do a bit of a play, didn't they? When Hathaway was first getting in the mobile suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, they tried to be like, it's like Gigi, you know.
Yeah,
I have no idea what that bears on the actual plot, but they tried to make some sort of tenuous link there, I think.
She's secretly a Gundam. I don't fucking.
I mean,
I thought it was kind of interesting how they didn't really like. This felt like one of the first Gundam sort of things where they didn't spend a long time, like, obsessing over the mobile suits too much. Like, there aren't loads of long lingering shots of the Penelope or the G or even the Mesa, really, and especially the Penelope and the pilot for the Penelope just kind of appear, and everyone's like, oh yeah, that's the Penelope, and that's the guy who flies it, and then you kind of move on. It's not like you have all this kind of
see. I think they're running on, like, the preconceived idea of, yes, you will have the special boy new type who is, you know, all glittery eyed in the Gundam, not knowing what he's doing fighting a war. Like that is going to be Lane Aim's entire story arc.
Yeah.
Like, guaranteed. It's Tomino.
Well, no, I do love that this time around the Gundam pilot is just some jobber who did pretty well in the tests. He's a bit shite in real life. He's just the lad who they put in the Gundam. It's not, and obviously on the other side you've got the glittery-eyed new type special Wunderkind in the other Gundam. But yeah, I think I really like that.
There are a couple of really highlight moments that are kind of quieter in this film. I think one of them is Hathaway's conversation with the taxi driver.
Yeah.
When he's like, "Oh, everyone should move to space in 1,000 years because
It's a little bit heavy. I mean, I'll go into this a bit. It's a little bit heavy-handed because
it kind of has to be for the audience, though.
Yes, it does. But the idea that he hadn't thought of any of that before a taxi driver mentioned it to him, But yeah, exactly. Like, oh, maybe a terrorist is bad.
The thing I loved about that scene as well was the turret mounted on the crotch
piece,
of a
J
Jagan.
suit.
Yeah,
that was wicked.
The fucking eagle
shooting up a jolly bee.
If you were going to be mounted on the outside, if you were going to be mounted on the outside of a mobile suit shooting at civilians, where would you want to be mounted?
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
I wouldn't want to be mounted on the outside of a mobile suit.
No,
since it
in
starts
general.
flying another mobile suit,
In a little
is the
bucket.
thing. Yeah. No, I kind of got paddleball vibes from that. It was cool.
Yeah, it was very cool. The other moment that I really enjoyed was the bit where it was transitioning from Gigi and Kenneth dancing on the dance floor, and Hathaway kind of staring at the card he got from the Federation officer, being like, "Yeah, you can just have this. You can just do what you want. It's got unlimited money on it." Which I get that this is a very late stage capitalism, elites are only kind of bullshit, but I very much enjoyed Hathaway having a slight breakdown over this is what I am fighting kind of moment.
Yeah.
It's what I will say is
he's Shah with balls.
Well, I'll get onto that, but the Earth Federation, can it go 10 years without creating a new fascist subdivision, right? Because
no, clearly not.
You had the Titans, and now you've got, what are they called? The Manhunters, which appear to be very similar, Again, Tomino playing the hits a little bit, but what I did like is that, like you said, Hathaway and Shah are basically trying to achieve the same thing, but for different reasons, and kind of through different methods. Like Shah was all about, he wants to awaken humanity to their new type potential. He wants to evolve humanity. Hathaway, it's much more just
bash the fash.
I'm doing this for the environment. I'm doing this to defeat a corrupt system. He's much more, I guess, small. Well, he's more realistic. He's more immediate, and I guess that's the whole film felt like that, didn't it? It's less kind of out there compared to a lot of Universal Century stuff. Much more grounded. Not as much new type bullshittery.
I loved when he finally gets the Gundam. He's like, "Yeah, I went through all that to go down to Earth just to see the people that I'm going to kill." I was like, "Damn, this guy's cold."
Well, that's the thing. He's not a hero. There's in the scene where I can't remember his name, but the lad in the Mesa is about to shoot up the hotels. And he goes for the people who would be caught in the crossfire. I apologise. It's like, oh well, that's all right then. That's fine. Carry on, mate. Carry on. Go nuts.
No, but what I really liked, the little detail was that when he was fighting the aerial battle, he was actively going out of his way to try not to hit people, to civilians, right? But the Feddies didn't give a shit, basically.
Yeah, they're shooting rockets past him at the city behind him, and he's like, "What the hell are you guys doing?"
Yeah. Again, it's a bit, I don't know.
Heavy-handed is the word.
Yeah, a bit hypocritical coming from a terrorist. My only fear with this series is that they will end up portraying Hathaway and Mafty as the good guys, and so far they haven't. They've done a good job of that so far. Because they're not the good guys. Two wrongs don't make a right, basically.
And like I said, I thought
it was kind of...
No, go on.
No, I was just going to say, it was like, after seeing Char's counterattack and then going into this, it was a bit of a leap because you know the Noah family as being the good guys.
Yeah.
It's usually the protagonist of a Gundam movie is the good one, but actually this time it's like, that's
kind of binary, isn't it? Because
yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, if you think about it, technically Ayug were terrorists and all, so
yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting. It makes you think, as it should. It's not as easy as black and white, right? But I do think that the character who I would most like to be friends with in real life is Kenneth, who's just a lad.
He's
He's
a
got big
lad.
dick energy exuding all around him.
Yeah.
You want him to spank you with his cane.
Yeah, well, mate, he's just cool. He's just a nice guy.
I really didn't like the bit where he was just like to Gigi, like, "Oh, will you sleep with me?" And like, what?
Listen.
That's just classic Tomino line, isn't it? Like,
Believe, achieve, right?
Jesus Christ. Yeah, Kenneth's leg doesn't seem. He is definitely a cop, is what I'll say. But he's not the worst, I'd say.
He's fun, at least.
Yeah, definitely. He's a good character to kind of like put in between Hathaway and him. Like, it's very interesting to see Hathaway interacting with other members of Mafty versus him interacting with Kenneth and Gigi. Because he's like two different people, basically.
But this film did get me thinking, like the kind of person like Char, like Hathaway, who feels like it is their responsibility to change the world. It's they have to do what they can to change the world. To me, that's like, how much of a fucking ego do you need to have? Genuinely.
Well, you literally have to be like Char, right?
Yeah, how highly do you need to think of yourself to think, I am the guy who needs to change the world? Like, if I was talking to Hathaway, I'd be like, shut the fuck up and sit down. These are not your decisions to make. These...
Would you also say that to Greta Thunberg, Sam?
Well, Greta Thunberg's not blowing shit up,
Not yet.
Yet, yeah.
Do we have any closing comments? I completely forgot to say.
Let's talk about the climax.
Yeah, I was about to say, like,
Gundam on Gundam.
So I really like how the Penelope is this weird alien thing, and it's all sound designed like a weird, crazy alien thing.
So they talk about a Minovsky flight system, which is something that other mobile suits don't have.
Yes. So basically, I don't know if they'll explain this in future movies, but what it basically means is that, and the G has it as well. So it basically means that they can fly in gravity for essentially extended periods of time. Every other mobile suit has to touch down. They're basically just doing big jumps, right? And so they have to sit on the platforms that I forget the name. The flying sleds. It basically just means they can
Base
fly.
jabber.
Base jabbers.
Base jabber. Yeah. That's what that means.
Yeah, it works like a bubble, doesn't
It
it?
was quite interesting them mentioning Anaheim. It sort of goes back to that Star Wars thing of you're both buying your murder weapons from the same company, and it's like, they've stitched us up.
Well, Anaheim are like the big mega corporation kind of thing, like kind of archetype in it. So makes sense. Anaheim have been doing this for quite a while now in the UC, so
that's what I was going to say. I am amazed that at no point the Earth Federation has gone to Anaheim and be like, we're going to shut you down because you keep selling weapons to Xeon and terrorist organisations, right? You've been doing this for 30 years.
Maybe Anaheim are doing it because, right, hear me out here, because the Federation are happy to let small conflicts occur because they want to appear like they are squashing bad guys here and there.
Yeah, keeps everyone
right?
in line. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They want to
True.
make an example, and that's why they're letting Anaheim be supplied with, some of the strongest and best, which has occasionally not gone the Federation's way.
You could also take the line that Anaheim is too valuable in that, basically all of the most powerful weapons of the Universal Century came from Anaheim. So if they get rid of them, they're shit out of luck, right?
Well, it's after this, isn't it, that you get the smaller suits, and that's not Anaheim, is it? Is it SNRI?
Yeah,
Something
that is
like that,
Earth
yeah.
Federation. That is Earth
Yeah.
Federation. Basically,
This is like the last gasp of the giant mobile suits, and then after this, it's all
Dinky Boys.
I liked that the at the end, after the final battle, you had like the Mafty guys complaining about having to fish bits of the G out of the sea, and then the Penelope just like laying face down in the water, and they're having to worry about like fishing for bits of G compared to it just like standing there, soaking in the water.
Yeah.
Speaking of nighttime scenes, a moment I thought was really good and made better was when the Mafty, I forget his name, Lane let him go and just essentially kicked him out of the cockpit.
Oh yeah, that shot of him getting in. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was great.
And he's got that torch, the flashlight, so Hathaway could know.
Yeah, that was really cool.
That was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's also not how gravity works, but
you're not how gravity works. I can't say enough about how good that film was. The last point I want to make, and the last thing I noticed, is the one thing that irks me a bit with all the more recent Universal Century stuff is there's not much carried over from thing to thing, right? Like watching this. It is a sequel to Shah's Counterattack. Unicorn and narrative might as well have never happened.
Yeah, because they did retcon it. Well, narrative retconned Unicorn in the history of UC, right?
No, no, not really.
Narrative.
Yeah.
The end of narrative, they're like, well, no, at the end of Unicorn, they basically lock away the psychoframe technology, and they're like, right, no more psychoframe stuff. It's too dangerous. It's mad. We don't really understand it. No more psychoframe stuff. So that's fine. But at the end of Unicorn, what you also have is Maneva Zabi reading out the Laplace's box thing, which basically gives rights to spacenoids, proves the existence of new types, and all of this. And less than 10 years later now, in Hathaway, that might as well have never happened. There's a scene where Hathaway is talking to Gigi, and they're talking about new types. And they mention the fact that she was taught in school that new types don't exist, and it's just interesting that I mean, you can easily explain this as, oh well, the Federation covered it all up, all the stuff that happened in Unicorn, they covered it all up.
Or you could just have it as it not being common knowledge that Maneva Zabi read this out, except for maybe some fringes of the colonies, right?
Yeah,
which is why they're fighting harder.
It was broadcast. It was broadcast to like everything, everywhere at the end of Unicorn.
Oh right.
It's a little bit of a plot hole that you can easily explain, but by doing that explaining, what you're kind of doing is going, well, Unicorn was kind of pointless. They were fighting for this thing that gave the colonists autonomy and that proved the existence and rights of new types, and they got it, and then nothing happened.
I can't remember if you guys talked about the franchise director for Gundam said just like dropped into a conversation that they're going to go back to Unicorn. Did you see that?
Yeah, UC2. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because this is supposed to be part of the UC Next 100, so I assume all the years that we haven't seen, they will probably be filling in.
Yeah,
at some point.
this is a real nitpicky thing, right? Don't get me wrong, I loved this film, I really did. It's just I'd love to see a bit more interconnection between all the UC stuff, like what's
it does definitely feel like Unicorn is standalone, right?
Yes, yeah, totally.
It does definitely feel like that.
Yeah.
One thing we did get was Amuro. We had him say to
his
Hathaway,
voice.
Yeah, the Grim Reaper won't come when you're ready for him, Hathaway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that line was "Death won't come when you're ready," which I think plays a bit better in the dub. But yeah, Hathaway's all right, isn't it?
What have you become? A dub sympathiser?
Yes.
Unbelievable.
They're good.
I've made an in podcast purchase, which is the Narrative Gundam Blu-ray.
Oh, nice. You didn't need to do that.
I've not seen it.
I like Narrative.
You just mentioned it. So.
It's a good film.
Narrative is better than a lot of people give it.
Yeah, just bear in mind with Narrative is that it is a direct sequel to Unicorn. In that, make sure you have make sure you are up to speed on Unicorn and you remember it.
Definitely.
But yeah,
I mean, I've watched it like 3 times, but I might watch it again before this arrives.
Yeah.
All right, I guess we'll close up Hathaway chat and get on to questions. Welcome back to Gunpla Club. We are all Hathaway'd out and we're ready to move on to some questions. First up is Stephen Mallon at StephenMallon77 on Twitter, and he asks, do you think they'll weave in characters from Unicorn like Banagher into the movies or just leave Hathaway series as standalone? I'd prefer if they kind of left it, honestly.
Second one.
But you obviously want it to have more connection to the
I
last
would
one.
love a little bit of connection. Just like, I don't know, just a little cameo or someone mentions something. But yeah,
I mean,
it's not gonna-
please
it's
pick
not gonna
Minerva instead of like Banagher because he's the most fucking shite Gundam protagonist in the world.
happen. He's alright, he's a lad.
I mean, I
He's a
did
lad.
look at the wiki page, and there is a character on there from Gundam history, which I won't mention, but it seems like that might happen.
Is it Bright? Are you talking about Bright? Spoilers, Bright is in Hathaway. Well, he will
I mean, he will. It's obvious that Bright will turn
He
up
will
at
be,
some
yeah.
point.
Yeah.
We will not divulge further.
Anyway, other than him, it's not going to happen. It's not. You know, they're. Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Moving on, we've got Hoskin House asking, if you could have only one pizza topping for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Not relevant.
Cheese.
That's not relevant. It's not relevant to Gundam.
The charred remains of the colony drop.
Next up, we have Windra asking, how do you think Hathaway's Flash Part 1 compares to Unicorn Episode 1? Hathaway's Flash is way better. They're not really comparable in any way.
Yeah, they're just not comparable. A lot more happens in Hathaway Part 1 because it's
Alright.
Just can't really compare them.
Moving on to the most important question of the podcast. Is, from single moms in your area, by the way, is Hathaway the biggest simp in the Gundam series?
Yes.
Ooh, surely not.
No.
Surely not.
I think no, it's
Shar,
Domon
isn't it?
Kashu.
It has to be Shar.
Shar is a huge sin.
Shar is not a simp.
Nah,
Come
Shar
on.
ain't a simp. Nah,
He
I
shot
disagree.
Cassilia with a bazooka.
Well, he's not a simp
Nah.
for her. He's a simp
Okay.
for teenage girls.
No, he uses them.
Nah, I think the biggest simp is Domon Kashu. He is the biggest simp. He is simping after Rain that whole time. And then in the end, he ends the series with a blast powered by love. Like, if that's not simping to the extreme, I don't know what is.
Yeah, don't know. I'm still going with Shar.
To me, let's break this down. To me, a simp is someone who compromises their own integrity for a member of the opposite sex or the sex that they are attracted to.
No. I'm pretty sure the internet definition of simp is anyone who is ever nice to a woman.
This is why you are the way you are, John.
Fundamentally broken.
And Hathaway almost fucks everything up because of Gigi. So,
Well,
there you go.
does he fuck it up, or does she fuck it up by somehow psychically knowing exactly who he is?
It's not even that. It's the whole diversion, right? He was meant to be picked up, and he just decides to. There's that weird scene where they're leaning up against the wall and she's bent over and he's holding onto her. It's really.
It looks like it's like the first dogging scene in Gundam. Wow,
You've
really
all got
made it.
dynamite. You've all got dynamite. She's having a bad time. She's stressed out, and he is just helping her and reassuring her. Yeah, honestly.
Armor of God Gundam, great shot by the way, asks, what would you like to see in the next Hathaway movie? More
niche Jegan variants. Just a Jegan for every purpose.
Yeah, I was going to say a double length shot of Do you know, I was just skipping through that movie as we were talking about it, just to kind of look at it again, and that is not the only shot like that. There are a few long lingering shots on the female
Trax, can I
form
introduce you to a
film.
medium called anime?
No, I know.
It's very male gazy at times, isn't it? Like,
yeah, you do not need to tell me about how people watch anime, but I thought like that every part of that, every time a woman's body was on screen in that movie, you could tell there was a male director behind it, and it felt like
a bit weird.
A lot of that film I thought was quite mature compared to a lot of other anime stuff.
Some of our listeners are going to call us SJW cucks now because for mentioning that. So,
well, if you don't agree,
yeah, if
fuck
you don't
off.
agree, you fucking incel men's rights activist piece of shit. Go fuck yourself.
True.
Yeah. There's anime out there for you.
It's
like,
not this.
Go and watch some
Plenty
trash.
of anime.
Yeah.
Yeah, like fuck off. And so I would like to see less of that. I know we just joked about it, but I would like to see more of the kind of the attention that and some of the humanity and time given to the men's motivations and characters given to the women, because a lot of every woman in that film was there to service
Yes.
the plot and the desires of the
and
men.
I don't know if you
And
noticed
they're
this,
either
but they all, especially Esmeralda and Gigi had some sort of instability within them. Like they're a bit portray oh, she's a bit fragile, she's a bit this, she's a bit of that, or she's just perky.
Yeah.
It's just. It was written
But
30 years ago,
answer would...
but you could have done better than animating Gigi's arse for 3 minutes.
That said, I'm pretty sure the fact that this has 3 female characters means that in Japan it's actually a feminist film.
You won't get Sion Sono putting through women in a film. Anyway, Penelope or G? G every day.
Penelope is horrible.
This is a tough one for me, because if we were talking original designs, I'd be with you. But
Oh yeah, because they changed the design of the G for this film, didn't they?
Well, they've changed the designs of both of them, but the Penelope feels closer to what it used to be. And the new G design is basically, let's just remove all the colour. And
Yeah.
I'm just not as
And put a Gundam head in the middle. Fuck it.
Yeah, I'm just not as keen on it. Whereas the Penelope I liked before, and I still quite like. So I'm going Penelope on this one. Your squares.
Yeah, I have to go G because I just dislike the Penelope in every single way. Both versions, I don't care. And guys, you've got to step up your questions game. I have to cut out so many. Please send in better questions.
I have thought that, but then again, I also think, like, how many questions can you possibly
We have been
ask
doing this for like 5 years.
about-
Yeah,
No, you know what our fucking biggest error was, Ollie? Getting you on the fucking podcast, because you always had banging questions.
yeah, but about grot. Like, the Two Good Boys questions could not be part of.
Well, no. They absolutely can. So there we go, listeners. That is a call to you. Be more filthy with your questions. Ask us which character we want to fuck or be fucked by. Like, I'll answer them if no one else will.
I mean, I'll answer you that for your
yeah,
it's Haman Khan. Like,
I mean, we've talked about Haman Khan
which
a lot.
Gundam character do you most want to peg
Yeah,
you?
Haman Khan.
Haman Khan.
The universal
Which
response.
do you fit? Which Gunpla would you put up inside yourself, like a
We've had that. We've actually had
Bucky
that
Butler?
one.
Oh, have we?
Yeah, that might have been one of my
Yes.
questions. Sorry.
The Penelope.
Ball, MG Ball.
No, you never get it out. You had to get it surgically removed. Right. I think that's going to wrap it up for today, boys. It's been a real one. Some good chat. Gundam is happening again. Oh my god.
It's exciting, isn't it?
This feels good.
Yeah, do you know what? I was thinking about Hathaway and stuff that we've talked about on this podcast before, where we have lamented the fact that there has not been a series to get behind. You know, like
Yeah.
back in the day when we all kind of came together for this, there was like IBO. And like that was the weekly show that was of a decent quality that we could get behind, and it like Hathaway I thought was really good. But if that had been a series, that feels like that could have been the new thing, because all of the build stuff that they've done has been garbage. That new live action one is dreadful. Narrative, no one really kind of got behind, and we need something like that Hathaway, but in series form, to kind of.
It's like that heyday, isn't
again.
it? When IBO was out, and we had to all download a weird app to watch it, and there was like 5 new kits every week. That's what we want to get back to. Isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
It is so strange that. Well, I was going to say there hasn't been a show for so long, but there have been. They've just all been crappy kids, build whatever. So, yeah. But, look, I mean, this is going to be a long one. We've gone over 2 hours because we had stuff to talk about, right? So,
Exactly. We've actually been amped to talk about Gundam because Gundam released something good and worthy of note.
So Bandai, Sunrise, you're welcome. Keep it up. Good job. I am a little bit concerned that the next Hathaway film is not going to be for quite some time.
Well, apparently this has been Hathaway was done for a while, so we won't have to wait as long for the next one.
I hope you are
That's
correct.
that is just some whispers I've heard on the internet, so it could be completely unfounded. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, we've seen old Jordan Voight Roberts tweeting about Hathaway as well.
What did he say? Did he say, my film's going to be better than this?
I hope he was fucking taking notes, is what I think. Like, now he was just like, what did the UC heads think about this? And I was like, well, obviously it's great. Alright. Will, what are our socials?
Gunpla Club on Twitter, Gunpla Club UK on Facebook, Gunpla Club on Instagram, and most important of all, gunplaclub.com. And even more important than that, our Discord.
Yeah, I feel like that's my responsibility.
Yeah.
Come and join us. Join
Go
the
for it.
Discord. We have group builds. We have... Do you know, here's the thing. If you are on the Discord and you are one of the many, many, many lurkers who have never, ever spoken, this is my challenge to you. Join us in speak.
You can talk about sweaty boobs.
Yeah. If you're lucky, I'll be online. I can call you a cock.
And also, don't upset me because I will ban the shit out of you.
Yeah, we've got a channel dedicated to Callum, which is nice.
Oh yeah. Remember to congratulate Callum in the Callum channel on Discord, please.
Yes. That's the only selling point I think it needs, to be honest, is we have a Callum channel.
There's a Hathaway spoiler discussion, which I've been dipping into. That's quite good.
Yeah. It's a nice place to be and hang out.
We've got a new
I wish I had more time to spend there.
a Gunpla photography channel as well. That's new. So if you want to take pictures of your kits, doing various weird things, then that's the place for you.
Very cool.
Nice. So
Right.
yeah, there's a link to the Discord on the website, of course, but also in our Twitter bio as well. So yeah, do it.
Have at
Do
it. I
the
think a lot
thing.
of people find the Discord searching Gunpla Discord on Google.
Yes, yeah, a lot of people on there haven't ever listened to this, and that's fine.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah,
That's
we
fine.
rank quite well.
It doesn't.
Probably
It
for the
doesn't
best.
doesn't make me angry at all. It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
I never open Discord because I hate it as just as an app. But I've just looked at this Gunpla photography channel, if that's what you kids call it, and this is all excellent because so many times you see Gunpla poorly posed,
Yes.
where someone has just got they've snapped it, they've not cleaned off the safety nubs off the V-fin, and then it's just stood there like it's posing for a school photograph. Whereas all of this is excellent.
Yeah.
There's one of a unicorn Gundam punching Godzilla.
Yeah.
I think there's a couple of people in there who are really big figure collectors and are fans of like making it into little scenes and stuff. So it's very cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, big up Convoy Cat. She's
No,
right into that.
our Discord members continue to make us look like the fucking amateurs that we are.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
As I'm sure John has realised during this recording that we really this isn't an organised podcast. We record when we record.
Look, mate, this has been a lesson in efficiency.
What is podcasts if not chaos persevering?
Well, this was my first podcast, so consider my cherry well and truly popped.
Yeah, and
Hey,
it's
you've done a
all
very good
downhill
job.
from here. So yeah.
Well, that'll take us out. Does anyone have anything to shout out?
Oh, yes, Armour of God
Balls.
Gundam. I would be doing my new sponsor a disservice without mentioning Armour of God Gundam. If you're in the UK, they do excellent
They've reached
work.
out to us and we haven't responded yet. I feel really bad about that. We'll respond to you, man.
We've
will.
definitely talked to them. We've talked about.
We've
them in the
definitely
past.
talked to them.
Yeah,
We've definitely talked to them.
Yeah, no, Armour of God is decent. Do they get like P Bandai stuff in? Or?
Yeah, you can pre-order
yeah,
P Bandai stuff there, and you can pay a deposit now as well, which is good. So you can pay a little bit,
sick.
pre-order your thing, and then when it arrives, you can pay the rest, which I think is a good service.
They've got those messes. They've got those messes in.
Get yourself a nice
It
pink
has
messer.
never. Yeah, it has never been easier to buy Gunpla
Yes,
in the
I
UK.
agree. Oh, they have some initial D kits.
Sick.
Ollie, anything to shout out yet?
By Paradise Killer.
There you go. Excellent video game. I've played it myself. I'm not
Thank you
biased in
very
any
much.
way.
I finished it. I got the best ending. I mean, it doesn't really work like that, but I got what I consider the best ending.
As long as you got what you consider, then that was the
Yes.
point. So thank you very much to anyone that has played it. We are up for, if I may just brag a little bit, we are up for an IGF award
Holy fuck.
Hey.
this month, which is absolutely absurd. So if anyone out there has played Paradise Killer, thank you so much for the support. And you playing our game has literally changed our lives in that I no longer have to go and work in an office on shit games I don't like.
Finally,
shit
the truth comes out.
Truth
Games
bomb.
that I worked on for 3 years.
I have played those games, and yes, they are shit. But not Paradise Killer. Buy that. It's out on all good platforms.
Well, no, it's not out on all good platforms. Switch
Yeah,
and PC, right?
Not yet.
All good platforms.
Oh, okay, right. Fuck you, PlayStation.
Yeah, fuck you.
Please stay tuned for further announcements.
Oh, shit. Alright, better end the recording there, guys. See ya.